Hi, I'm Darren, and I've been looking at a nice easy psalm of 109. The psalm was written by David and given to his director of music. Now, I find this quite a difficult psalm to understand, and I'm just glad I never had to write a song about it. It's noted for having the most severe curses in the Bible and is known as a revenge psalm or a judgment psalm. So, big question, is it okay to hate or ask God to reap revenge on others? Now, David is known as being a man after God's own heart. So if he can ask for revenge, can we? In verse 3, David writes, with words of hatred they surround me, they attack me without cause. In return for my friendship they accuse me, but I am a man of prayer. They repay me evil for good and hatred for my friendship. Now, I think all of us have been in situations where we feel people have purposely caused us pain for no good reason. So how are we supposed to respond? In the psalm, we're told of all the punishments and judgments that the writer wants to bestow upon the men who have wronged him. So is that okay for us to do? Now, Jesus preached on this in the Sermon on the Mount. We're told in Matthew 5, verse 44, "But I tell you, love your enemies, bless them that curse you, do good to them that hate you, and pray for them that despitefully use you and persecute you." So, overall, is it good to hate evil? You see, in the world at the moment, there are things that are evil, and we need to stand up for what is right. We need to tell God and shout to him and ask him to deal with them. See, David knows that we can tell God how we're feeling, because even though he is a maker of all things, he cares about each and every one of us. God's always there. We need to talk to God, and we should do it as often as we can. And we need to be honest with him. We need to ask God for help. And this week I watched Hacksaw Ridge, first time I've seen it, and it's about a true story of Desmond Doss, the Medal of Honor winner who never fired a shot in World War II. He's a Christian, and his beliefs drove him to wanted to be involved in World War II. But it was his faith that allowed him not to fire a gun, but to try and save as many lives as possible in extraordinary circumstances. He stayed true to God's will. And in the psalm, David pretty much does the same sort of thing. You see, David is powerful. He probably has the means to wreak revenge on anyone that he wants. But instead, he knows he must leave that to God. In verse 6, he says, "Appoint an evil man to oppose him. Let the accuser stand at his right hand." See, David knows that God has the power. He knows that God listens and can act. And because he's God, in the final verses, David writes, "With my mouth I will greatly extol the Lord. In the great throng I will praise him." He knows that in every situation we can give God the glory and we must trust in his judgment. So there's lots to this psalm. Loads more, and I could talk about it now. So at the end I thought about 3 questions. Is it normal to hate evil? Yes, of course it is. Is it right that we ask God for judgment? Yes. We want God's glory to shine, and he'll listen to our cries and he'll answer our prayers. But lastly, ultimately, it's God that will judge. See, good or bad, God is there in every situation, and all we need to do is talk to him and give him praise.